I introduce Gina, because Gina's got a story, and then we've got another gal that's going to share a story before we get Lisa up here to do her training. But Jason, he's our sound guy. He does an amazing job. He really takes it to another level, don't you think? And I'm so thankful for him. He sits behind the scenes, but Jason is also a senior director. That means he's earned his Lexus, and his little boy always comes with him, Bo. Would you share just for a second a little bit about his story?
Huh?
Say hi.
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 All right. The reason I'm the sound guy is because Mandy and I were together in a different company. We had to do everything. We actually didn't have a company that did all the marketing for us, the back office. Well, they kind of gave us a back office, but everything that we had was what we created. And it was so nice to come to this company. You know, when I first heard about this business, Jeff Olson, it was funny because he was a mentor of mine for years before he ever started this company. And when I saw that he started this company, I watched a video and how they were going to roll it out. It wasn't going to be there wasn't going to be a what they call pre-launch. You know, I just had a guy the other day who approached me about something. Hey, this company's in pre-launch. I said, are they shipping product? He said, yeah. Are they enrolling people? He said, yeah. So they're not in pre-launch, they're in business. Pre-launch is hype. Okay? And so this company wasn't about hype. It was, they rolled it out naturally in the way they did, and I respected that. But when I saw what Jeff Olson was doing, I watched the video because it was Jeff Olson. Okay, but there was a few things that I decided I didn't want to participate in, and it was because, number one, it was a startup company. Mandy and I had the opportunity to be a part of a startup company. One out of about 300 will survive. Ours didn't. Okay, that's the reason why we were doing everything, the video, the music, and everything. Second thing was, it was skincare. I'm a dude. I didn't know nothing about skincare. But as I watched this company grow over the last year, and then I saw Mindy, you know, Mindy and I worked our tails off in that other company. And when I saw her earning a 6-figure income in 5 months, okay, well, that got my attention. And then as the company that I was with kind of, you know, sort of started breaking my heart, well, then I wanted to listen. And what I've come to realize is, once I put my ego aside with skincare, guys, okay, then look at the numbers then. Look what the company did in their first year. When I found out they did $100 million in their first year, the bell started going off, because I know in this industry that when a company hits $50 million, you want to start paying attention, because that's when other people are going to start paying attention. And that's when you'll start seeing momentum. When she said they did $100 million their first year, oh my gosh. Okay, all right, I can get past skincare now. Okay? But the product, it was one product in one country. Okay, and then they're going to have a whole line. And when I started listening, when anybody in here that's not part of the business, or anybody that is part of the business that hasn't listened to those 3 CDs that come in your starter kit, has anybody not listened to those? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. When I got my kit and I started listening to those, it started going off, because everything that Jeff talked about in those CDs, about the companies that break your heart, the companies that front load you, the companies, you know, everything that is happening, the binaries, so to speak. The companies we came from were binaries, and I am an advocate for staying away from those things now. And that's the way the compensation plan, you know, one team over here, that's a joke. But when Jeff was talking about what makes good companies and what makes companies last long term, it made sense. Jeff was one of those guys, and he was one of those guys that when the company he was with before, and he was the top guy, he was the one that made fun of lotions and potions, those companies, because it was a service-based company. But guess what? Even Jeff Olson, you know, he evolved, and he realized, he watched the companies that stuck around. They weren't the binaries. They weren't the companies, the products, and, you know, services. I mean, there's some that are still around. The companies that stuck around for a long, long time, and the companies that became real opportunities, when he found out what he had here, okay, that started making sense, and the bell started going off for me, and it just made sense. And I am thankful to be where I'm at. I am proud to be part of a skincare company. And I don't have a problem talking to any of my friends that come up to me with these new opportunities all the time. People are trying to recruit me all the time. Mindy too. And this absolutely makes sense. It's real. And if it takes me longer to build it, that's fine, because I'm tired of building the ones that I have and falling apart. And so I am thankful that Mindy called me. I'm thankful that Mindy was patient with me. And I'm thankful to have a real opportunity with a real product that's going to stick around for a real long time. So.
Thank you, Jason. I'm not patient. I just pretend. Okay, you guys, before we again bring Lisa up, I just want to bring Gina. Reuscher, sorry about that. But anyway, she's got something really neat to share with you because, you know, one of the things that Nerium does is they really promote Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And so this is a pretty exciting story, and I want everybody to hear what just happened for her.
Quickly, just a little bit about myself. My husband, Todd Reuscher, who was unable to join us today, started in the Nerium business back in December while I was working 80 plus hours in my corporate job. And I was using my job kind of to fill a void in my life for not having children. So fast forward to March, we had just filled out some paperwork to go the next steps towards an adoption when I lost my job. And this is the second time within 5 years this had happened, that we'd been so close to having a child in our life and it had been stripped away as the breadwinner. Financially, we just couldn't do it. And so I thought, well, that's just not in the cards for me. It's just not in God's plan. And so I proceeded to have a 1-month pity party for myself. And in the back of my head, I knew I had this Nerium thing and maybe I don't really need to go find another job, but I just couldn't lift myself up to pursue the Nerium opportunity. What I did lift up was the Slide Edge book. And I started delving into the personal development that we all have access to in our back office. And it changed me. And it opened me up to other opportunities. And so my husband came to me and said, hey, we need to relaunch this thing. I want to go to Dallas. We had no money. But somehow we made it there. Made it to Dallas. And huge focus was Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And so we sat there in that huge auditorium. How many of you guys went? Okay, so the huge auditorium, the lights dim, story after story of brand partners who had been matched with littles and bigs, and it was just very, it touched us. And so I looked over at my husband, and, just to like get kind of a pulse of him, and he had tears streaming down his face, and he said, I want to do this. This is something I want to do. And so I got a little excited, and as soon as I got back home from Kansas City, I had been exposed to Big Brothers Big Sisters before, so I called my contacts, and they said, absolutely, we love Nerium. Nerium has been recognized as a corporate sponsor, and they were very excited. So to make a long story short, we just became bigs this week, and next week we'll be matched with our little, and in 2 weeks I get to meet my little, so I'm a little nervous, I'm a little scared. But what you guys may not know is that while Big Brothers Big Sisters has a corporate umbrella, each chapter runs independently. And so our greater Kansas City area chapter is amazing. And so in some states, they have more bigs than they have littles. So that's not the case in Kansas City. There's a shortage of bigs. And so there are over 500, I'm going to get some stats out here because I didn't really memorize these. So they have over 500 littles waiting for bigs. And just last month, this is more than they've ever had. So last month they started a campaign called Mission 350. And so what that means is they have a mission to match 350 children by the end of the year. And that's a huge task. But really, they service a lot in the area. So that's really only about 20 more than they do in every other month. And I just think that that's a huge opportunity for Nerium to fill that gap for them. I think there would be nothing cooler than us to go to St. Louis in our own backyard, and for the Midwest area, for Missouri, for Kansas, to be the ripple that gets recognized, that just makes a wave across the nation. So here's just a few stats very quickly. There are 80,000 children that live in one-parent homes in Kansas City. So out of this, that makes up 90% of the juvenile court cases, 90% of the high school dropouts, and 60% of teen suicides. And so this Mission 350 is something that I totally want to get involved in and start that ripple. So here's 3 ways that you can get involved today. You may know that in your back office you can go ahead and donate a portion of your paycheck. It's tax deductible, and Nerium has made that easy for us to participate. Another way is through their events. And so they have the big bowling thing that goes on in the spring, so I'll absolutely be getting that together, but also brainstorming on some smaller third-party events that we can start doing over the next couple of months. So please, if you're interested in all, raise your hand, contact me, because I'm going to need some help for that. And the third way is to become a big yourself. And while I didn't have children and it filled a void, there's been a lot of people. How many are already involved? Oh, a few hands. Thank you so much. See the opportunity here? It's awesome. So I have these little pamphlets. They're at the registration desk. It has more information. It has their website on it. Go check it out. But there's also a tearaway here. So you can fill this out, and there are ways that you're interested in it. I will return this back to the office and take note of your information as well for personal. So you can either be a big brother, big sister, or a big couple, which is what my husband and I did. Be a Kaufman Scholar. So if you have a college degree and you want to help a child that's in their sophomore, senior year get to college and get through to college and not be one of those stats, you can do that. Participate in special events, support by matching financially, signing up your child and referring them in a program, or you're not sure and you just want to be on their mailing list, that's even an option. So thank you, think about it, and let's be the ones that are all getting up on stage in St. Louis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're not going to wait anymore. We're bringing Lisa Cox up here, and let's get training.